Hi, BiFFs.
Hey, Beth.
Dear Abby.
Dear Kiki.
Dear Captain.
Red
Cheers to you.
Desperate housewife.
Pinot Grigio.
Doesn't want to marry
Loser
you.
power.
Love you like I
Pour
love
more
you.
wine.
That's so tight.
Drinking.
Don't talk to yourself.
Cheers, Biff.
Cheers.
Ill-advised. Ill-advised. This is ill-advised. Hi, BiFFs.
Hello.
Hi. Welcome.
Welcome to Ill-Advised.
The podcast. I'm Ray.
I was waiting for you to...
Say the podcast.
Yeah.
We're the podcasting BiFFs.
Who? Podcast.
And that's Stefani.
I'm Stephanie.
The podcast where... Right. Let's start
our
over,
first time?
shall we? Okay. Hi, BiFFs.
Hello.
See, now it feels more natural. Welcome.
Welcome to Ill-Advised.
We're the BiFFs. I'm Ray.
Stephanie.
And this is the podcast where two lifelong best friends tell you what to do when someone else already did.
And not your mom.
Or your therapist. You're quite welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I'll jump into the... actually, no. Biff, tell me about your week. Let's just go there. I know we saw each other and recorded the last episode like 5 days ago, but...
Well, if our
go
listeners could see the bags under my eyes, I wouldn't have to tell you about my week.
Well, I can't see them, so...
Then my concealer is great.
Fantastic.
I've had one of them weeks.
Oy.
And I'm even done statistics. God damn it.
You got the hardest part of your college education out.
Right. And my child wants to be the absolute craziest she's ever been in her 2.5 years of life.
Great.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You okay?
Which is really funny. No, on occasion.
On occasion, you're okay.
On occasion, I'm fine. No.
Agreed.
So, like, have you gotten any reprieve this week, or has it been just the case of the terrible two squared?
Yep.
Yeah.
Alongside no sleep. So it's like double, like you don't have the proper rest to fucking deal with the madness. So it's just like...
Do you want to tell our listeners about the creamer incident?
No.
Because it's pretty fantastic.
So I love my flavored creamers.
You do.
And I had a giant bottle of the hazelnut creamer and then a regular size of my coconut creamer. And the other day when I was in the bathroom, my child wanted to make floor coffee and completely dumped out both of my creamers on my floor.
Oh my God.
It was hell. It was hell. I literally walked out of the bathroom and just cried.
Yeah, I believe it.
And
I
then,
mean, I would.
And then wanted floor coffee.
Yes.
How was your week?
My cellulitis is almost gone.
Yes, it is.
My face is like almost back to normal, which is nice. I'm not in pain.
Your face doesn't have a face.
My face doesn't have a head. And that's fantastic. But it's been pretty like, I don't know. What's the right word? I mean, outside of working from home, because God forbid I take a sick day.
Literally, God forbid.
God forbid. But I don't know. It's been pretty laid back otherwise.
Biff,
I know.
is this your first recording?
It must be.
Even I remembered to put my phone on vibrate.
Listen, I think this must be a first for me.
Also, tell him hi.
No, it was just a email. That's not my text tones.
I can't keep up. Your phone makes a lot of noises.
Oh, I'll tell him hi for you, though.
One of them weeks, busy.
No,
blah.
it's been busy in terms of work, and in terms of everything else. I mean, it's been pretty great. I think when I saw you, and maybe I mentioned this in our last recording because it was just a few days ago, but like Wednesday was the first day I felt like I'm back.
Oh yeah, you did mention that.
Did I? Okay. Like I'm back. It's me. I found me again. Here I am. Hi.
Hello.
Welcome. No, I feel good. I'm good.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's good. You went through a little bit of a downward.
I think I needed to go through that. I know, like, I say all these prolific bullshit things, like, you needed to do that, it was meant for that, yada, yada, yada. But, like, I needed to go through that. I needed to kind of see that whatever kicked all of this off, i.e. me, was what needed to be first, and I wasn't doing it. So, I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense, but it does to me. So.
I was going to say it does to me. I don't, but I've also known you for 25 years.
So, we're going to 25 now?
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck 20.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's been interesting. I feel like, when's the right time to talk about these things? When you feel great? Or when you like...
When it feels right
when it
for
feels
you.
Right.
For you, specifically.
Yeah, no, you're right. And it actually does feel right for me to talk about it, but I actually want to save this conversation because we are... So this episode's getting released the first Wednesday in May. And May is Mental Health Awareness Month. So Stephanie
Has it always been?
I have no fucking clue. I always thought it was March. So that's why I asked Google. And Google's like, no, it's May. In an Australian accent that I can't replicate to save my life.
I wish I could. Can you try? Donkey.
No. That's more Scottish.
Can you try anyway?
I wouldn't even know what to do. Chubna? I have no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm leaving that alone. I'm not offending anyone overseas. You're welcome. But yeah, we decided that we're going to kind of stray off of our usual format for the next few weeks and kind of discuss our own mental health struggles and mental health in general to remove the stigma of this bullshit. Do not be ashamed to have mental health issues. Do not be ashamed to seek help or treatment for mental health issues. I don't have words. You can keep going though. Well,
I think we should just do the wine and get it out of the way so we can, because I have a lot to say also.
Excellent. Fantastic. Okay. So we're drinking a 19. Yeah.
We've been drinking.
2019.
We've been drinking.
Yeah, we've been drinking. Only not really.
I was going to say one White Claw.
One White Claw. So we have a 2019 Chardonnay from Sonoma County, and it's from Simi. I mean, I wouldn't pronounce it any other way, would you?
Simi,
Simi, S-I-M-I. It was $18.99 for the bottle, and we're going to try it right now, right in front of you. Right.
I like it.
It's juicy.
That's true.
Right?
Sorry, guys.
Your saliva glands are salivating.
Yeah.
Makes
me want a hot dog real bad.
Real bad.
I don't know.
I don't know why. If you guys get that, please send us an email.
Yes, tell us what you like on your hot dogs.
Yes, please. Yes, no matter how strange it is.
You can reach us at
You've been illadvisedthepodcast.
And also
on Facebook and Instagram at
proudly
illadvisedthepodcast.
All in for one.
All for one and one for Ill-Advised the Podcast.
Cheers to that again.
Cheers to that again. Let's just do it. Okay. We'll sip another one.
Yes.
It's going to be gone anyway. This is
just one of them days.
Just one of them weeks. Did you have therapy this week, or should we save that for the closing? Like we usually do. You didn't? Okay. We'll save it for the closing.
Sure. Well, since we're getting right into it, I actually had something when you mentioned to like break the stigma, and like it made me think of when okay, so frankly, I had zero idea about, I mean, I knew about mental health and stuff, but I had zero idea that I struggled with it.
Isn't that interesting?
So fucking, I literally was 20 when my sister just casually mentioned, like, that's just fucking anxiety. And like, this was something that I had struggled with for probably since even before I was a teen. I just always felt like I was just weird. I was weird. I couldn't do things that my other friends could do. I couldn't call and order a pizza. I couldn't go, my mom would send me in to go pay for the gas, and I'd freak out like internally, like, oh my God. And then I'd like make one of my brothers go instead. And like, so for like literally like since early teens and before, I just had like this severe anxiety that I didn't get my first job till I was, I think, 17, because every time I got a job interview or just like anything that had to do with like actually, just not filling out the not progress report.
Yeah, but you can fill out your own progress report. You're doing great.
Yeah, I just would bail and I wouldn't show up, or I'd like freak out. I'd have a fucking giant panic attack, and like I just thought it was weird. And like I always needed, a friend, like our old friend that pretty much, well, she did live with us.
Mm-hmm.
Like everything I had to do, doctor's appointments, everything, like I made her come with me. Like,
right.
And I just always thought I was just like weird. And literally one day my sister, I don't even know, I'm sure something came up and I was like, oh, no way. And she was like, dude, it's just friggin' anxiety. And I'm like, what the frick is anxiety?
Right.
She was like, what you have. And I'm like, what do you mean? I'm not a weirdo. I'm not like this is something
but
that
even
like
still, it wasn't something that you thought to seek help for right away, because it was still something that
I didn't know
it was like taboo. Thing. You know what I mean? Like
my parents never. My dad used to, crack jokes about me, not because like would all sit down like, oh, let's have pizza tonight. And my dad would be like, Steph needs to call and order the pizza, and like,
shit. I guess we're having hours in the fridge,
right? So like they knew that I had this issue, but I don't know if they were aware, like, hey, that's anxiety, or if they just like didn't think it was like this big deal, or like, just like get a fucking job.
Well, the whole thing around mental health disorders in general, it seems so taboo to me. Like, I actually was fascinated when I came to the realization that it was like talking about AIDS or like talking about being gay. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those things that like you kind of swept under the rug. You didn't discuss it. And that just made people hide. And it made people more anxious, I think. At least it made me feel anxious. I think, actually, I'm sorry. So I think just a blanket statement, like on myself, if I talk about me going forward, and I think it's important for everyone to know, one of the big reasons we started this podcast, I have suffered since I was a teenager from depression and severe anxiety disorder. And I'm really good at hiding it, I think. I'm really good at hiding it.
Yeah, you're depressed is not the
I'm a high functioning,
normal
yeah,
depressed.
Yeah. So that's just me. I don't know if you're comfortable sharing.
Oh, the depression.
Oh, yeah, the depression or whatever.
Yeah,
the anxiety,
the PTSD. I was diagnosed with right shortly after my sister told me about the anxiety. So I'm like, okay, well, let me go get freaking help for this, since if this isn't something that I have to like live with the way I've been living with, then friggin' A.
Right.
It felt like a relief. Like, oh, I can, like, I don't have to feel like this every second of my life. And but also, I also had.
So that was the first time for you.
Bouts,
with your sister, that was the first time that you acknowledged or realized that you have.
That I'm not just a weirdo.
Right.
Like, that there's actually something that's like, oh my God, I can get help for this. Like, I don't have to just live this way, because it was exhausting. It was difficult. And then I have my family like yelling at me, like, just do it. Just get a job. You're 17. Go get a job. And I'm like, I tried. I literally can't breathe and run away before I even step foot in for the interview. Like, it. Wow. So it was, it was like a relief to know, like, oh my God, I'm not just a weirdo. Like, this has an actual thing.
Yeah, it's a diagnosed condition. It's scientifically
that you can get help for, so you don't have to live with it in the way that you live with it.
It just pisses me off to think about how it was always something behind closed doors. you hear about it more, especially with like celebrities bringing it to light. Like there's more discussion about depression, anxiety, bipolar disorder, even ADD, ADHD. Like these are mental health conditions that people just kind of like, and it's amazing to me how we kind of just glossed over it, and now it's being recognized more and being talked about more, and even contributors to a bunch of other things on top of, you know what I mean? So like, and everything, I always believed everything is kind of woven together, right? So who cares what the underlying cause is at this point, but what's it affecting at this, at this stage in your life? For me, it was affecting my ability to make friends, my ability to maintain friends, my ability to step outside the house.
I was going to say, to come to the high school parties.
Yeah.
Without knowing every single soul that was there. Yeah, we used to have to lie to you every weekend.
Yeah.
Who's going? Oh, it's just us.
Yeah. And I fucking believed it.
I know.
I fucking believed it.
Little did we know.
Because I was like, well, I could just sit home by myself. Or I could go with my friends because I'm fucking young and should be getting cirrhosis of the liver.
Yeah. Amen to that.
So, yeah, I don't know. My beginnings were different. And I didn't get diagnosed with depression until I was maybe 15, 16. And at that point, I was suffering more with like identity. Like
I'm sure that was like a huge part of the depression
immense.
And anxiety.
I was suffering, like I was trying hard to figure out who I was, knowing who I was while trying to project who I should be, who I thought everyone wanted me to be. And that's still a problem for me today.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like how people, like what people perceive of me, how they see where I am in life.
Right.
I actually am going through something right now that I'm like, that I might actually share.
Well,
where I'm like,
not to cut you off.
Yeah.
Because I want you to continue on. But were you aware that like this is depression and anxiety that you have?
Not until I was diagnosed with it.
So you were pretty much like me, just like,
I was struggling and trying to like,
this is who I am.
Well, I also knew that this is a big secret. So for me, a lot of my identity was like, dude, you're gay. You know what I mean? Like, you're fucking gay. It's okay. But it wasn't. It wasn't.
Right. Because you not only were afraid to obviously come out, but you were terrified to be gay.
Yeah. I was terrified. I was terrified because that's like, it was just condemned all around. Never mind with my family.
I was going to say, especially for your culture.
You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't the 80s. Like, I have Latino family on my dad's side. I guess my mom's side too, although Brazilians don't identify as Latino. Some of us don't. Most of us don't. It doesn't matter. Like, where the culture is machismo-ism. I just made up a word. But like that machismo, like toxic masculinity is at the forefront. Right. You know what I mean? And they guide the family and they lead the family. Right. And I was like, I'm going to have like 500 kids. I'm going to have all these bitches. I'm going to like, yeah. But like, I definitely will never be gay. I won't do it. I'm never coming out because I can't do it. Never.
Yeah.
So it's because it's not allowed.
Yeah, but I think also for you to feel like that you didn't want to be gay on top of like, not only do I not want to be gay, but I can't tell anyone even if I am gay.
Right.
I think that's like.
It's so insane to think back in high school how we were so liberal with the use of and the damnation of anyone who was, but the word faggot was, I can't believe how, and now I liken it to like the N-word. I'm like, you know what I mean? It's not the same thing. Before anyone crucifies me, it's definitely not the same thing. I know what you mean though. But like it's incredible.
Yeah, I think it took me like a year to like get that word out of my vocabulary.
Yeah.
I think after you came out to me.
Oh, really?
Is when I started like, oh my God, I say this a lot and I need to stop.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you and I have been friends for so long that like, I don't know. I don't want to give too much information either. So like,
Why?
but no, not that, not like just you and I, but like my mom, for example, she wasn't very accepting of this when I came out to her and all this stuff. It was actually a struggle for us. And I lived at our friend's house, the same friend who you would send to like do shit for you.
Yeah.
I lived at her house for like 2 weeks, and I just remember, my mom was just like trying to be my mom, but she
Well, you
didn't
came out
know
at what
how
age?
to. I was 19 after my son was born. Yeah. Pray the gay away. You know what I mean?
My mom's trying.
Yeah, your mom's trying. No, but now like my mom and I have a relationship. I really want to tell this story, but I really want everyone to put this whole thing behind them. My mom and I are very close, and we tease each other all the time. And sometimes, and it's just to me, she doesn't say it to anybody else. It doesn't say anything. And she just look at me to be like, "You fag."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And and I know that she's not coming from a place of malice. So that's like totally different, you know?
Yeah. It's almost like you guys can kind of joke about how,
right.
you know, in the beginning when you came out, how it was like, now you can, you know, laugh about it.
Yeah.
Which I think
it's
is
so different. She would
great.
never, you know, use
no
it
way.
in public or
No
to
way.
defend anything, or like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not.
She never would know.
In fact, right now, she's taken a stance against a close family member's friend, because they were, I don't know if you were there for that conversation, because they were talking about me and my sister. Like, she's got a fag and a dyke. And my mom's like, all right, I guess I'm not going to my sister's 60th birthday because that bitch is going to be there and I'll cut her.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's...
No, I didn't.
Oh, I didn't tell you that?
No.
Oh, well, now you know.
I can't wait to find out.
Now America knows. Actually, you've been at a party with her.
Great.
Yeah. Excellent, huh?
Now I really
I can't
want
wait
to
to
know.
meet her so I can go over there in a crop top and be like, look, I'm a fag.
A rainbow crop top.
Yep.
With cutoff jeans.
Yes. I'm sorry, we're getting off track. The whole gay thing is just a contributor to it. This isn't a coming out story.
Great. Because mental health, not gay awareness.
Right.
Gay awareness.
Right.
Sorry, though.
Yes, I get it. I hope you guys get it.
Yeah, I didn't mean it that way.
Gays exist, guys.
Now you know. You've been ill-advised.
We've been ill-informed. Like, oh, God. No, but like that was part of my anxiety, my depression.
Oh, I'm sure.
Growing up, you know, on top of them.
Carrying that. Because you were, what age when you were like, oh my God, I think I'm gay?
I was young.
So
I was young.
safe to say that's probably when
I was young.
these...
You know what the funny thing is that I would, in my head, I can't even like, I'm not making this shit up. I remember specifically every time my mom would mention my dad, I'd be like, I hate men. I'd be like, I'm so gay. I literally remember that. I can tell you exactly where I was.
That's wicked funny.
She was like, she said something about my dad because he didn't come pick us up or something. And I was like, I fucking hate men. Oh my God, I love that.
Plot twist.
Yeah, no kidding. But yeah, that fueled a lot of my anxiety and my depression as a teenager.
Yeah.
You know, and then,
Of course.
then not to mention being a teenager and being the apex of what your identity is. Like, who are you? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's confusing enough when you don't have additional
Right. So I can only imagine like
things to sift through.
Like your story is like you didn't know it existed.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, well, you knew about it, but you didn't know that was like your problem.
Yeah.
And for me, with family experiences, I was like, am I depressed? Am I sad?
That's it. Yeah, yeah.
Am I, because
Yeah.
I'm, you know, my mom suffered from it. And she actually suffered from it big time. And I still to this day don't know what the root cause was. She's so much better these days, but there was like a turning point where she was hospitalized, and that's when I really learned about depression and anxiety. And I was like 13.
Yeah, that's young.
That's young, yeah. But I mean, I didn't identify with it at that moment.
Right.
It was until she moved us from Boston to out here
Yeah.
in these like quasi-rural, like where are the cows area,
Yeah.
or we're just like, that's when I started feeling the anxiety and the depression take over.
Yeah, I can imagine, because here you are struggling with everything you're struggling with, and then also having to start over, and
Yeah.
that's fucking huge.
I really think that we should even just dedicate a whole fucking discussion to teenagers going through anxiety disorders.
And what that looks like.
And what it looks like. It looks like, from my perspective, it looks like sadness, the constant need to fit in, even though you have a friend group. It looks like fighting and arguing with your parents every single fucking day. And for you, it's a little bit different.
Mine was terrible. I was so angry. Angry. I would physically fight everyone all the time for no reason. Like, oh, you looked at me? What, bitch?
I remember.
Like, it was just anger. And I was constantly... I'd steal my dad's pain meds. I would steal alcohol, like weed, just constantly trying to not feel. Like, just... I don't even remember, like, a crap ton of my, like, teen years, because I just always wanted to be, like, please don't.
What do you want to know?
Please don't. Like, I just was constantly trying to, like, numb the anxiousness and the anger, and, like, obviously anger is the secondary. Yeah. You know, anger is obviously the secondary feeling of, like, hurt and, like, sadness.
And you had a lot more going on too than just, like, the surface level stuff. Like, you had your family issues going on, your parents separating.
Oh yeah, all kinds of family issues.
But I mean, battling that as a teenager,
especially, like, not knowing, like, I just thought I was weird, and, like, I need to be drunk to, like, feel normal. That's what, and I literally was drunk. I used to bring water bottles of vodka to school because I just made me feel normal. Like, oh, I'm a normal person now. I don't clam up and have a fucking panic attack, which I didn't know that's what it was at the time.
Yeah.
Just for asking the teacher to go to the bathroom. Like, it makes sense to me now why I was, like, so angry and, like, lashing out, because I was so fucking confused, on top of, like,
and you were in a family that didn't acknowledge its existence.
Yeah.
In general.
Oh yeah, no way.
Like, I don't, with my family, I think we only acknowledged it because of, my mom would kill me if she listened to this podcast, and God, she doesn't. But, like, the issues with her, we wouldn't acknowledge it otherwise. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if it wasn't, like, forced.
And now this whole family talks about how, like, our anxiety is hereditary, you know? Mm-hmm. We're all fucking, like, on edge all the time. And the people who aren't medicated, you know.
Right.
But then, like, for you guys, like, for you, I mean, you didn't seek any treatment until recent years, right? Or was it even before that?
Probably somewhere in my 20s.
Okay.
Because I'm like, well, if I don't have to fucking feel like this, then fucking let's go. Which at the time didn't help, because I didn't take any of the medication that I was prescribed for, or, like, did any of the personal work, you know what I mean?
And actually, just a quick note on medication. It's a game of hit or miss.
You're
still missing, right?
Yes. 4 or 5 antidepressants later.
Oh my God. It's a game of hit or miss. Please don't be discouraged by your own experience. Just keep going. It's really a matter of finding what works for you and your chemistry. And it's just it blows my mind to think that our genetic makeup has something to do with how the chemical effect of a medication, you know what I'm trying to say? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it's just...
works or doesn't work.
Right. It just blows my fucking mind. Science continues to blow my fucking mind.
I know,
literally. And this is why, if we talk about God, I'm, like, hung up on a fence. But I digress.
Yeah.
Yeah, for you guys, when was it, I guess, for you, that you thought it was okay to kind of talk about it? Because it wasn't until you were in your early 20s, maybe even 19, if I remember correctly. Like,
yeah, I was going to say, I feel like I actually remember the first time going to a therapist in my late teens, because I remember that's right around when I was diagnosed with PTSD, which was like a whole nother thing. I'm like, that's
PTSD,
like
that's
soldiers.
something, that's exactly where I go.
18,
right?
19 years old, have PTSD.
And now
like,
you think about like your history.
Yeah. And I'm like, of course
I have it.
PTSD, like what the fuck? So for me, I feel like my family, we were so, I've mentioned before, like we just are super traditional, men are men, women are women. And I feel like a lot of that was also like, just get over it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, just
it was like that for us
fucking
too,
get
though.
over it. Like,
I stopped crying.
and I think that's, and it's like now I have to also hide my panic and anxiety, which made it worse. You know what I mean? Because I can't tell my dad, oh my God, I have a job interview, but I'm freaking the fuck out. And like, instead of like being assisted and guided.
It's going to be like Danny Tanner.
Like, yeah.
He was, rest in peace, Bob Saget. He was,
He was like, get the fuck over it.
Right.
Go fucking to the interview.
Thank you, next.
And then I wouldn't. And then it would be like this, you need a fucking job. I'm going to take your phone away. And it's like,
but I need my BlackBerry.
I just paid $600 for it. Yeah, so it just was like, I guess that's part of like why I always just thought it was weird, because like I just, we grew up with like, just get over it. We didn't go to the doctors or hospital literally unless our bones were popping out of our skin. Mm-hmm. So like it wasn't a thing to like go seek help or get treatment for this, because it was just something that you just needed to get over. And you obviously fucking can't.
That's so interesting. Yeah, I don't think it was like that for us. We did have like a period where we couldn't pinpoint it. So we weren't able to suggest it. You know what I mean? That it might be. It's just like, oh, Ray's just being a teenager.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it wasn't. It was so much deeper than that. I don't think I actually started living authentically until probably my mid to late 20s.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Even though being like out and even, having been medicated. I mean, we've talked about this before here. Like when my longest relationship was almost 7 years, or I'm sorry, almost 8 years, 7 or 8 years. Who cares? It doesn't matter. It's not relevant. The yearage.
Same difference.
Same difference. But I was also medicated at that time.
Yeah.
And now it's my I don't give a fuck pill, which is fantastic. Please don't use buspirone during executive meetings. Speaking from experience.
Unless you're me and it doesn't fucking work.
Right. It's so fucking weird.
So weird.
For me, it works on the spot. And for you, it's like...
Does nothing.
No.
Like,
yeah. I guess I feel like we're kind of all over the place, but it's just, we're just trying to paint the picture that it's just so regular. It's not necessarily recognizable.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck it was.
Yeah. It's just like, it's a psychological anomaly. I don't think it's understood scientifically what causes these hormone imbalances. You would know better than I would.
I'm actually starting abnormal psychology this week.
I'm so excited for you and for this podcast.
I know. Get ready, listeners. So no, they've actually done tons and tons and tons of like, this is kind of not where it comes from, but like, this is what goes on. This is, chemical imbalances versus like, somebody who went through a traumatic event that caused something, or you can be born with depression and like all that stuff.
I've heard that. I've heard everything you're saying. I think I haven't heard the why. Why does it cause this? Why does it lead to an imbalance? Why? I know it has a lot to do with, or I think I know, that I'm vaguely remembering research and whatever when I was diagnosed, but something about your synapses and your nerves and the misfiring in your brain. And if this makes no sense, that's absolutely fine because I really don't know what I'm talking about.
So like if you go through like a traumatic event, all these different, things go off in your brain and like it's all kinds of madness in your brain and things get depleted. And like, so this is like where these, when you go through something traumatic. And also, one thing I actually had a whole conversation with my therapist about was when I learned that, you can be born with it. Like, so like my mom, we've always kind of felt that she's, has something going on undiagnosed.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't believe in the doctors and medication, that kind of thing. And like a lot of people
She's all
her,
like, let God and let live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I had, she has a cousin, or I guess my cousin, I don't know, someone on my mom's side of the family who like believes he's Jesus. And like, there's just a lot of
this
like.
This is the first I have ever heard this.
No.
In my entire life. And let me just tell you, given what I know about your mom, I fucking believe he's Jesus. He's Jesus.
So please. We feel like there's a lot of like
North Central Massachusetts. I found Jesus. Like
no, literally. Like my uncle, my mom's brother, when she was, I don't know, I think a teen, he like wouldn't let her wear the color red because it was the devil's color. My grandma, she was manic depressive. So there's just tons and tons of like, that sounds terrible. There's undiagnosed, unmedicated stuff going on. And so when I learned that like, there's a decent chance that like
is your predisposition to anxiety and depression, is it genetic?
Yeah. So if my mom was anxious and depressed or, had bipolar or something while I was born, that can cause the setup in my brain for that. And then once it's like psychopaths.
I guess it makes sense. Like your own chemical imbalance would lead to your fetus or your child's chemical.
Imagine just having a fucking little baby girl and learning that like, oh my God, I just birthed this amazing child that's gonna fucking be all fucked up like me. Like,
and my mom was like new to this country, so I'm like,
oh yeah, no way.
Thinking about how
the
I
anxiety,
never even
anxiousness,
thought of. I never. Wow.
Yeah.
My mind's a little bit blown.
Yeah. So there's people that like just could live a very normal life, and like there's no reason why I should feel depressed. Maybe you were born with it. You know
Maybe
what I mean?
It's Maybelline.
Yeah. Like it's all fucking so like you don't have to go through traumatic events and like all kinds of badness and whatever to like, oh, now I have depression and anxiety. Like you literally could just pretty much be born with it, and like you still need or could benefit from medication or therapy or whatever.
Wow.
Yeah. It's fucked up.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what I'm hearing you say is, who the fuck knows?
Yep. Yep.
It's so strange. I think that personally, and I've said this in our recordings before, everyone could benefit from therapy from some sort. I don't care if you don't have any quote unquote mental health issues.
Yeah.
I think everyone can benefit from it because you learn so much about yourself.
I was going to say, I feel like therapy should be classified with like going to school.
It should be a prerequisite instead of fucking geometry because who the fuck cares, right? I still have yet to use geometry in my everyday life.
Yep.
Algebra, absolutely. Geometry can go fuck itself, right?
Yeah.
But I guess emotional awareness should 100% be a prerequisite.
Yeah.
It should be what you need to graduate. Like, who cares if I can't fucking speak French after 2 years of taking it?
Yes.
Like, I mean, great, broaden your horizons for sure. But like,
but it would have been better to know like, oh, this is anxiety or this is depression.
Rather than like go down to the nurse and be like, I gotta go home.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kill myself.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let's call your mom.
Yeah. Oh, suck it up. Okay,
Fuck,
great.
dude. Fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It's just a lot. That's a lot surrounding it.
So I guess my question for you, knowing your experience, is so you sought help, you went and saw a therapist, you found out about PTSD, but you still didn't, I don't want to say address it, but you didn't work on it. That's perfect. You didn't work on it. And it's really interesting to me that you and I were like, we're starting therapy, like at the same time.
Yes.
Like, oh, I just saw my therapist. I was like, oh my God, I'm looking for one.
32.
Yeah, no shit. Like it was too late. Thanks, COVID. But when did you feel like, independent of when you actually saw it, but when did you feel like maybe you could benefit from some help?
After I had Mia. Because that was when it was like, okay, not only is there a chance that I like could biologically pass this on to her, but like I don't want to be battling this while trying to be a great mom. You know what I mean? Because being a mom's a struggle enough.
Amen.
So I don't want to be depressed or anxious and like that impede on like my parenting. And like I don't have the mental energy, or I'm too anxious to leave the home. So now my 2-year-old's stuck in the house with me. You know what I mean? That type of thing. And like also I could no longer use outside medications. I couldn't be drunk and smoke weed, and you know what I mean? Before I got pregnant, I was still bartending, and like it wasn't a huge deal if I drank every day. You know what I mean? And like that was kind of my crutch. Like
it was your mute button.
Like I'll just have a couple drinks if I'm feeling anxious or whatever. Like it just.
Well, I feel like even before that, because we were living together before you got pregnant too, I think you had kind of acknowledged that in some way where it was like, you know, like I'm just trying to forget today.
Yep.
I'm just trying to, I think you knew that. I actually think you may have verbalized it at one point, because that's when you were becoming, well, I can't actually say that with certainty because I think it may have been before that, but like you were more emotionally aware at that point.
Oh yeah, I feel like I've always known that like this is what I'm doing.
I said this earlier, and I think it's like sappy and shitty. Like I kind of think that there's like a reason for everything, and like you're supposed to be where you're supposed to be. But I think we emotionally, I don't want to say peaked because it's such the wrong word, but it's coming to mind. But we lived together at a point where we were both trying to evaluate our own self-worth in one form or another.
Yeah.
And I think it was supposed to happen then. I think it was supposed to happen where, and I'm just a weirdo that doesn't believe in God but believes in timing or something. Whatever. I'm spiritual, bitch. I don't know. But we went through that together.
Yeah.
In one form or another. And Definitely. If we weren't questioning our worth, we were questioning someone's evaluation of our worth.
Yeah, yeah.
Which fucking pisses me off.
Yes.
To think that we relied on someone else to evaluate us.
To tell us if we were good enough or not.
I fucking can't. And we still kind of fight with that, but we know, like, we circle back. No. Like, let's rally and be like fucking rational. Like, I'm fantastic.
Right.
Yeah. It's just.
It's fucked up.
Oh, guys, everything is fucked up. From the minute you're born, everything in the world is fucked up. Just because your parents don't talk about it, just because you don't watch the news, everything is fucked up. And your anxiety about anything whatsoever is 100% founded.
Oh, fuck yeah.
And
you can't, I don't want to say every case, but you fucking can't just suck it up. Just get over it.
But you can't
do it. I actually had this conversation with my sister My nephew, he's 18.
30.
Yeah, literally. Fucking. Literally. But no, he struggles with.
Dude, there's no way he's 18.
Severe.
He's got to be older than that.
I don't fucking.
Okay, keep going. I'm sorry.
He's got to be. I don't know. He's not 21. That's all I know.
He's almost there. He's close.
He's somewhere between 18
He's
and
close
20.
because he'll be here having a podcast with us.
Yes.
Having a drink is what I meant to say, but he can have a podcast.
Yes. His first. Fuck yeah. His first drink. Yeah. Oh my
You're
God.
right.
Anyways, he's struggled with depression and anxiety for a long time. And my sister, so she had her own like mental health stuff, but it looked extremely different. I guess it would be like comparable to you and me. Like we both have anxiety and depression and they just look completely
It's not a
fucking
mirror
different.
image.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have never guessed that you had depression. You know what I mean? And like you definitely could have guessed. Fucking
No,
but
I didn't even, it never crossed my mind, which is what's kind of
this is what
amazing
it
to me.
is.
I was just like, this is because you are so confident, even though you don't feel like it.
That.
Even though you don't feel like it, you portrayed this confidence where it was like you were Regina George, like Mean Girls.
Fake it.
You were Regina George, like that's gross. And then it like spread around school. That's gross. That's gross. That's gross. Don't eat that fucking chicken patty. It's gross. No, not the chicken patty. That's terrible fucking reference.
Terrible
you loved
because I
those
loved
chicken
it with
patties.
ketchup and mayonnaise.
Yes, you did. Hold on. I don't know. Ice cream is terrible. Terrible.
Ice cream is terrible.
Terrible. You know what I mean? Like it spread like wildfire.
Yeah, I guess that was like the
You made fun of somebody and it spread like wildfire.
God. Yeah.
Like,
I know.
Stephanie
She
thinks
can't
it's cool
sit
to
with us.
tell XYZ that her tits are too perky. So
Did I actually?
yes. Yep.
Madonna.
Yes.
That was not perky. That was nipples.
That was nipples, yes. But still, like that stuff kind of like it made its rounds.
Yeah.
Somehow, though, you always found forgiveness. I don't know how.
I know.
I don't know
I
how
still
you
to
did
this
it.
day get away with murder.
I don't know how. But
Literally still
fucking
get away with murder.
kudos, magic, because I need your secrets.
I did some shitty shit and like nobody.
But we never knew that was anxiety and depression. We never fucking saw it.
Well, because you all were also struggling with your own shit that looked bizarre like me, just because mine was more loud and in your face. And
well, maybe that's the problem because yours was so like
yeah,
out there that we're like, she's normal.
yeah, maybe, or
You know what I
we're
mean?
normal and she's not.
No, that would never crossed my mind, ever, because you have to see the dynamic in college and high school and all of that. Like there's still that clickiness. There's still that. There's a hierarchy.
Yeah.
You know, and you, for our group, you were like Queen Bee.
That's funny.
You were Queen Bee. And you can see it.
I was
Go back
totally
in history.
overcompensating.
I remember one of our old friends, Madonna Nipples. And I'm so sorry. I really don't mean to make fun of your nipples. I just don't like you anymore. Madonna Nipples. But is that terrible? Should I remove that?
No, I can still see the nipples.
Yeah. But even after high school, a few years after, I think it may have been your 21st birthday, where you had gotten upset about something, kind of retreated to your room. You were having a big party at your dad's house. And this person who may very well be a fantastic human being at these days, like I'm not judging, may very well be, was like, I was going in to kind of like console you and talk to you. And she was like, no, I'll fucking take care of it. I'm a friend. I'm like, dude, you just stepped back into our lives after 3 years.
Oh, I do remember that. I remember you talking about that like the next day.
No, blah, blah, blah. It was actually turned into a fight. So I just kind of like, you can have it.
It was like I'm better friends with her than you.
Yeah.
So
well,
like,
no, it was, I'm better at handling the situations than you. And yeah,
like she'll want to see me and
that a little bit. Like she literally didn't let me in.
Beyonce.
So, and that was another psychological blow, not on your part, but like, do I trust people too easily? You know, that I was like, this is one of my
I think we were really
close
great friends, and we're
friends,
not.
and we're really not, because you don't fucking know who I am. You know what I mean? But I don't know.
It's so tricky.
It's so weird.
Anyways, we got way off.
Oh my God. High five. Mental health awareness.
No, so I was talking about my nephew and like, you know, growing up in the home that's like, just get over it. You know, and then my sister, who, you know, her stuff looked completely different than mine. That's kind of how she, in the beginning, would handle my nephew. Like, he'd start, you know, would pull up to the gas station and my sister would hand him her card and tell him to go put 20. Yes. And he'd immediately, his fucking face would turn beet red, he'd freeze, and he would just be like, and my sister would be like, just fucking go. And I'm like, he's literally like having a fucking panic attack. Like, I'll just go. And my sister's like, no, he just fucking needs to do it. And I'm like, no, like that's gonna make it so much worse.
And for somebody who acknowledged the existence of anxiety.
Yes.
This is
and I'm like, oh my God, like I literally am him. He is me. You are mom. Like, you're like, I promise that's not how this works. And not only like does that not work, but it honestly makes it feel worse. Like it's like, I promise this isn't a just get over it thing. Like he genuinely is like having a fucking panic attack over this. And like she, in the beginning, like mind you, he was young. This was not anytime recent. My sister's not, you know, but she eventually was like,
well, I mean, just like society in general, like we've kind of evolved to recognize that there was something there.
If you don't,
it's not just, no, but I mean like,
if you didn't struggle with
like
that specific,
now,
right.
Like now she's like,
well, she literally would feel like anxiousness and should be like, oh, I just need to get over this. And she'd force herself to do
which in
whatever
retrospect,
she would do.
It's kind of easy to kind of think that, yeah, like this is actually nothing. Let's just try to fucking push past it. Like, it's kind of easy to think that.
Well, yeah, because your thoughts determine your actions, determine your behavior, and your feelings, et cetera, right? Yeah. So, like, that's kind of what dealing with, you know, for me personally, I learned that, like, that's what dealing with, you know, it was, for a perfect example, I think that was when I started actually trying to force myself to, like, not just get over it, but to like handle it differently, was when I moved in with you. And it was like 2 weeks, I think. And I wasn't working. Did I have a job when I moved in with you?
Not yet. But it wasn't
and like
long
I was
at all.
starting to feel super guilty because you were like, who fucking cares? Just get here. And I'm like, oh my God, okay.
I literally made you.
And then I was like feeling guilty about like, oh my God, my best friend's taking care of me. Like, no, like, so I just was like.
And for the record, I never felt that way. No, I just felt like you needed to get out of your situation.
I still feel like this. I know. But that was when I first was like, okay, like I just fucking need to do it. Because the Chateau, they contacted me.
I was in the car when they contacted you. We were in the car when they set up that interview. I literally
was having so much fucking anxiety and panic on my way to go to the interview. And it was like, I just literally was like, just fucking do it. Just
you had to
fucking
take my car too, right? Does that sound right? Your car didn't like...
I don't know.
I think you dropped me off at work and you took my car.
Maybe, but...
I made sure you fucking went. That's all I know.
I took 2 shots of alcohol before I went. So I could try to fucking get through. And like, that was like, kind of like.
Janet.
Yes, Janet. I fucking love it. And I flat out told her like, I'm having so much fucking anxiety and panic right now. And she's like, why? And I'm like, cause I'm sitting here. Like.
Because you called.
She like, yeah. And she like chuckled and she was like, it was okay. And like, I got the fucking job, even though I can't imagine how that interview went.
Right. Do you remember?
But nope. I remember her asking me questions and me like trying to think of like, okay, this is what I want to say versus this is what the fuck I shouldn't say. And like, but my point is that like, for some people that works and like, That didn't work until I was, how old? When I moved in with you? 20.
7, 28.
Yeah, I was going to say 28.
27, 28.
Yeah. Like it wasn't something that I was like, I just felt, I guess maybe the turning point for me was that like, I was like, I'm not going to live in my best friend's home. It like not, you know what I mean? Like just like, I'm not your child.
And
so
for
it was
me,
like, I had to fucking do this. I had to
for
fucking
me,
do
like
this.
psychologically, one of my things is that I've been working on, God even knows how long in terms of mental health, the constant need to be needed.
Yeah.
Right?
I didn't know that until you like broke down one day.
Yeah. It's just that constant
Recently,
need to
I
be
think.
needed.
You always have to do.
I need to be doing, but like if I have, and I still feel this, I don't care how much mental health plays into this. I feel like it's very true to my nature. If I have the means to help someone, then I'm going to fucking help someone. And that's just going to be, I don't care if, take advantage of me. I don't give a flying fuck. You're better than you were, you know, in one point or another.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that to be cocky.
Yeah, no, I didn't.
You know, I just want you to feel like a better human. Like for you, you were in a situation I felt like
I had a whole mental breakdown.
It wasn't arrested. You did. And I didn't. You did. Yes, sure. Of course you did. No, like it wasn't, for me, it wasn't something like I take pity on you. For me, it's like, get the fuck out of that situation.
I have a home, a whole entire home. You can have a fucking bedroom. Get here now. I think that was like your whole,
yesterday,
like verbatim, what you pretty much said to me.
Oh, and I remember
I don't have a job.
I have
whatever. Yeah. You said get here.
Which is really funny because then you ended up going back to that old job in some capacity.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Which is so weird because you quit, right? It was just like, you were just kind of...
I don't even remember. I just remember specifically not working at the time of when I moved in with you.
I don't have a job. I was like, figure it out after. Get yourself out of this situation. It's clearly not serving you.
Yeah, whatever. I think it was probably the day after my mental breakdown.
And honestly, I think this is when our psychological, like our mental health issues kind of intertwined in some way or another.
We like just recognize that like, you fucking clearly need a hand right now. And then for me being there with you helped you in some way. You know what I mean? So it wasn't
there was some, to me, it was more of like an emotional trade-off, you know?
Right. Like I was worried about feeling like a burden. Meanwhile, you were thankful in some way that I was there regardless of me not having a job.
Right. No, 100%. Yeah. And because of I have a nurturing spirit. You know?
You do.
And I think that's just my upbringing. It's just, and actually part of my anxiety and my depression, but I digress. Because that's a whole other fucking story.
Oh, yeah.
But it was just, it's, well, my bad. Hi. My recollection of that is just really getting you out of where you were. I didn't care. I mean, I was already in the hole. I was. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to lie to anybody.
Great, that makes me feel worse.
No, but not like that. Like I wasn't like in the hole, like broke, but like I was surviving.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I was affording my house. I was affording more food that I ate. I had my utilities. I had a roommate at the time. So like things were comfortable.
Yeah.
And I just like,
I can hack this.
I can hack this. Like, let's do this. Like, you eat what I fucking cook anyway, so...
Yes, look, I do.
You're right. It's not like I have to make you a separate meal. Like, no, it fucking worked. And I think that served us both. I know that served us both. We did fucking good. And I think that also solidified our friendship a little bit more, even though, I mean... Actually, that's probably an unfair statement.
No, it's not, because everyone was like, oh my God, I can't believe you guys are still friends after you live together.
Right.
Mandy. She was like, don't live with him.
Mandy's
like, it's going to fucking...
FYI.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Just the whole world should automatically.
But like, yeah, we
went through a lot of fucking growth
together.
But like recognize that like, oh.
Let's forget about living together before that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think it was like on a whole different level of like
our own issues.
Hey,
being able to come together.
I can see this.
Yeah.
You can see this. Like, oh, okay, let me help or let me adjust or let me fix this. Oh, right. You're right about this. It was like we were like pulling each other out of the fucking hole.
It's
while
just,
also like dealing with everything that's outside of the hole.
Sorry, I'm gay. I'm totally going to a bad place with that.
Wrong hole, Biff.
Wrong hole. No, I just know that I'm super grateful for you.
Oh my God, I wouldn't be where I am today, I think, without you.
It's like, it's emotional actually thinking about it, but
absolutely,
we're so much better for each other, I think, for having each other. But that made sense, right? It worked in the conversation.
Yeah.
I don't know. Actually, very recently, actually, that's not this. This isn't the time for that story. I'll tell you after. It's just, we complement each other in a certain way, and we are very comfortable talking about our states mentally, physically, emotionally. I think that, again,
it's such a zero judgment.
Oh my God, we're just so
it's
fucking.
Like a safe place.
It's safe. It's safe. It's meaningful, and it's impactful. You know, we're able to counsel each other. We're able to kind of like give our point of views without.
You made me aware at 28 years old that I have like this male-female bias, or like I didn't touch the trash for 3 months, the first 3 months that I was living with you. I
totally just forgot about that until you brought that up right now.
You were the man, so you just needed to do the trash. And then you came home one night and had to obviously take the trash out again. And were like, can somebody fucking help me with the trash? And I was like, literally said out loud, like, holy fucking shit, I've not touched the trash one fucking time. Because growing up, my whole entire life, I never had to touch the trash because that's a boy's job.
And I came to see my kid, home, and then I went back home.
You came home late. It was probably 10, 11 o'clock at night, if not later.
And no, it wasn't that late, but it was still,
you had to round up all the trash, take the fucking trash out, and you literally just like, kind of in general, like, can somebody fucking help me with this trash? And I literally stood there, and it was like a fucking ton of bricks, and I literally said out loud, like, holy fucking shit. Like, obviously you're fucking mad at the world right now. I've never touched the trash one time. And it's been probably 3 months since I've been living here. And
but imagine if I hadn't said anything and just fucking did it.
I never would. I used this story in school for like biases and like that type of thing. Like, it was like,
that's such a good story. I forgot about that.
Zero awareness.
Because I remember that. Like, I fucking forgot about it.
Awareness.
Because it was, it was me. Yeah, awareness. I love that word. Awareness. Let's just write that down. I just,
our other roommate.
It wasn't just you. It was our other roommate. It's an R, roommate. But I don't think it wasn't pointed at anybody in particular.
Yeah, no, you just were having a fucking day.
I clean the house every fucking weekend. Like, I make sure everything's good.
Yeah. And I couldn't even help the trash because that's a guy's job. And you were the guy. So you'd take care of the trash.
Right. And I never thought of that for you either. Like, I never thought that was like, your mindset is like,
I just didn't register. I didn't register trash.
But I never thought of that.
To this day,
because in my entire life, I remember my mother taking the trash out.
Everything. She still does.
Yep. She still does.
She's fucking handyman.
She said today. She said today. Actually, it started last night where she called me a slut because I was texting a guy. And she's like, you slut. I was like, what? And she said something else with calling me a slut. She's like, oh, finish the job now, be a slut later. I was like, it's one person, I'm not a slut. But she
There wasn't this male-female role.
For her,
Yeah.
For her, it was like, I don't need you.
Yeah, I don't need a man.
And she would literally, I remember
I can jack this car up and change this tire by my damn self.
And she fucking will, dude. She will. She's like, oh, I broke a nail. I'll fix it tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
This shower head needs to be replaced.
She literally just did that.
I know.
I think we talked about that actually on the air.
Yeah.
Yeah. She literally she's just a force of nature. There is absolutely no way to stop her. And I think that that's seeing who the mental health issues that she went through growing up and seeing how she deals with them now versus how she coped with them in the past. I don't always agree with my mom about what she does and her approaches to everything. Oh, yeah. But let me tell you that she's my fucking hero.
Dude, mine too.
You know what I mean?
She's amazing. Like, she always has been.
She's just, she doesn't wait. She doesn't she's a Brazilian woman. My grandfather took care of A to Z. Mm-hmm. You know, and my understanding is to this day, he still does, despite senility totally or slowly taking over.
Yeah.
Even though my grandmother tries to flex, like, she's like, I got the muscle. And he's like, sure.
Right.
You know,
meanwhile.
My mom stepped up. She's like, I've got kids.
Yeah.
Let me work nights. The oldest one's old enough to take care of things. Maybe she didn't consider the effect on me, but
she probably wasn't aware.
But maybe she did.
She probably wasn't aware.
And she's like, what's the benefit? And
True.
what's the detriment? Is he dead or is he alive?
Right.
You know, there's just so much. I'm grateful for her every single fucking day.
Oh, always.
She's magic. I want to strangle her sometimes, and I'm sure she wants to strangle me.
Oh, Avi.
But I think having her as a coach through these mental health struggles too is I told this story, I'm pretty sure I told it on this podcast, but when she told me it was my turn to be selfish and my sister-in-law came in and kissed me on the cheek and I was like, turned my head and she's like, go, cry, fucking cry. That was the first time my mom ever told me it was okay to cry.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah, so it's easy for you to not recognize that, like, oh, right.
Right.
Steph grew up in this home where literally my dad would say, like,
well, the shit
boys
thing about
take the trash out.
The shit thing about it is that I understood. Maybe it's not the shit thing about it, but maybe it's more of like contextually, like historically, I kind of understood where you came from. So I didn't hold that against you.
Well, that's what I was just going to say is that, like, this is probably why, you know, like they say, like, oh, if you're best friends, like, don't live together or don't do whatever, ruin your friendship. Had that not happened in the way that it did, like, that would have become a resentment from you.
Maybe, yeah, possibly.
You know what I mean? Like, had I not fucking, like, had you not said something for me to, like, oh, obviously you're fucking frustrated.
Right.
Obviously, like, you've been the one taking care of the trash this entire time. And then you recognizing that, like, you know how I was raised and, like, men are men, women are women, and, like, trash is a man's job. And, like, and I literally said to you, like, I'm so fucking sorry.
I remember that conversation. That was the next morning. I remember that conversation.
Registered the fucking trash. I couldn't tell you if it was full. I couldn't tell you if it was empty. I couldn't tell you if there was a bag in the bin. I don't register the trash. I never have.
One of the things that I noticed when we were living together, and I think that this is like phenomenal, it's a great dynamic, is that you were totally upfront about those things. When the situation came up, you were like, oh, you know,
right.
Men are men, women are women. Get it. But you always had my fucking back. And you were always able to kind of open my eyes to the bigger picture. And I find that
that's what you did for me.
Well, I
wouldn't have known that I was expecting you to take the trash out because you're a guy.
Right. And like, and there was
you wouldn't have known that I was expecting
you
to take
the trash out. There was a return on that where you were just kind of like, for example, like I would have an argument with, let's say, my boyfriend at that time. Actually, yes, my boyfriend at that time. Let's just say he was my boyfriend at the time. And sometimes I was kind of like, okay, like, can I have an argument with my boyfriend or can I talk to him? But sometimes you said something where I was just like, shut the fuck up, bitch. You just put in your place. Like you made sense of something. There was such a give and take. And guys, all of this to say that our psychological upbringing is still a work in progress.
Oh my God. Yeah. Because here we are
in our 30s,
struggling with the same symptoms and the same like diagnoses and the same things that like look like night and day.
Right. When they're very clearly not night and day.
Like
they're like morning and afternoon. Like mid-morning and mid-afternoon.
They're like brunch and dinner.
Brunch.
But it just, your upbringing, just everything plays into like mental health and like the way you handle it and like the way it's, you either get over it or it's like, hey, this is what's going on. You know what I mean? Like I was trying to, like when I was talking about my sister and my nephew, like she struggled with her own mental health issues. You know what I mean? So for her, it looked like fucking get over it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Versus for me, it was like, I literally need you to hold my hand through this.
Right.
Until I can, you know what I mean? So here my sister is.
What's fascinating to me is that you didn't know that. You didn't know that you needed your hand held. You were just trying to live. That's it. You were trying to live. When your hand got held, when someone took you into their arms, regardless of who it was, you were able to see the grand scheme of things and you were able to be like,
okay, I got this.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think I'm going to put myself on the back burner for this. I think that your story is just, there's so much to learn. I think your story your situation tells a bigger story, is what I'm trying to say. You overcame so much more. I came from a non-traditional household. You know what I mean? Like the woman fucking excelled and she was like, oh, you're not, okay, fine. I win. Also, let's find the next one.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm
going to take the trash out and take the trash out.
You literally you're backwards from the American dream outward. You know what I mean? Your story teaches more lessons. It gives a broader perspective because you're literally learning it from the perspective of a single mom and not a mom with a husband and 6 kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like kudos to you. Like, I'm proud of you. You're fantastic.
Same.
Like, it's just magic.
I wouldn't be where I am today without you.
Back at you. Like,
and that's the beauty of
that's
our
not
fucking friendship.
Yeah, I think that's the other thing too. Our friendship.
It's like a lot of give and take, even if it doesn't look like equal give and take.
Right. We don't give a fuck about that though. We never have.
You never have.
Oh.
I still struggle. I'm like, you bought wine last week. And the week before, it's my turn to buy wine. And you're like, I'm bringing wine.
I guess I'll bitch about it when I'm broke. Oh, well. Like, I don't know. It's just, we've always been able to take care of each other. And that is what matters to me.
Yeah.
I think at the end of the day.
Well, I mean,
honestly.
It obviously says something. We're the last of the Mohicans.
But I'm not Native American. You're the last of the Mohicans.
Okay. But yeah, I mean,
we've come a long way though.
It looks.
I would love to see someone psychologically analyze our codependence because there's some of it there.
Mine already has been.
Oh, good. Bitch, you're codependent. Fred, if you're listening, I need help. No, it's just.
For me, what's fascinating is that, like, literally our specific situation. You have anxiety and depression. I have anxiety and depression. And if you took, if one person came and hung out with both of us, they wouldn't be like, oh, wow, you both have anxiety and depression. You know what I mean?
Well, maybe me. Yours is not as outward.
I just meant like
You're
how
the best actress.
we can have. Well, yeah, I guess I having no fucking clue what's wrong with me and why I can't function like a normal quote unquote person. I had to fucking learn. Like, I just gotta fucking whatever. This is
Keep
what it is.
on
I gotta
keeping
just
on.
fucking I just gotta fucking figure it out. I don't know what's going on, but I gotta figure it out.
Right.
Versus like, hey, I have anxiety and depression. This is what's going on. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's just fascinating that we can have the same mental health
Afflictions,
struggles,
the issues, struggles.
and them like not look the fucking same.
That's,
You know what I mean? When you think of
like,
depression, you think of I'm in bed, I'm not showering, I don't, you just mopey and blue, and like that's not you at all.
But that's not you either.
Well, not now. I feel like I feel like there was
maybe.
in my mid-20s, I feel like there was times that like I had to force myself to get out of bed and like just shower and like put makeup on, and like that was all I did for the day. And like it was like, you know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
But for you, like that's the fucking opposite.
Complete opposite. I'm like, fucking
I have to
avoid the pain.
You have physical injuries that the doctor's like, hey,
Slow
let's
the
not
fuck
go to the
down.
gym.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, I really want to go to the gym today, but I think I'm going to go mow the whole fucking yard and rake and plant these roses instead because the doctor said I can't go to the gym. And I'm like, hey, I don't think that's fucking
You're so fucking right.
I know. And like, knowing you, like, I wouldn't just like, that's not depression. Depression is the opposite. You can't get off the couch. And like the doctor's like, hey, you gotta go to the gym. Right. Because I fucking nailed it. Yet you have depression.
Yep.
And nobody, you know, like.
The perfect example of that is when me and my ex, can I just give him a nickname so we can refer to him? Come up with one. Neil.
Okay, we ain't gonna remember.
I ain't gonna remember Neil.
I don't even think I know what ex you're talking about.
Yeah, you totally do. When we broke up and I had to move out and buy my own house and like how I totally tried to avoid that any which way possible by keeping myself as busy as I could.
Yeah, it's
emotionally, sexually, all of it.
Yeah, you didn't grieve.
I didn't grieve. And then when it hit me,
it fucking
hit me.
I remember that.
You know, it's
that, but that's
so
but that's what I mean. Like that's what is super fascinating to me is that like, you know what I mean? Here I am with anxiety and depression, and like literally on my worst days, like forcing myself just to shower, and like that was all I did for the day. Versus, there's never been a single day in your life where you had to force yourself to get out of bed. You know what I mean?
Yes, in some respect. Right?
Well,
yes,
but I meant like in the way of like,
yes, you're right.
Like, oh, I can't go to the gym, so I'm gonna
make up for it.
Right. I'm gonna pretty much go to the fucking gym just outside of the gym.
I don't know if my mom, because I totally got this from her, but I don't know if she recognizes that the same.
You are her, she is you.
It's literally it. You know?
It's like you can't
right
stop.
Now,
you can't
she
slow
can't
down.
Stop, and she's feeling right now, and I feel for her.
She's trying to not feel.
She's trying not
That's
to
why
feel.
You guys are fucking ping pong balls.
Where do you think I learned it?
Avi.
Oh my God.
But that's what I mean. That's what's so fascinating to me is about like mental health and like
it's
these
never,
things like in general.
It's never prevalent. It's not always something that's at the forefront. You can't guess it. You can't. You can find the happiest person in the world and not know that inside they're deteriorating. Yeah. And I just, because we're coming on time, actually we're beyond time, which I was kind of
special.
Yeah. I'm just check in on your friends and on your family.
The strong, loud ones that never stop going.
Or even the weak, meek
can
ones.
still be depressed.
Right. Oh, please don't think of your friends as weak and meek. I don't know why. Now I feel terrible. No, just check in on your friends, check in on your family. Literally the most basic thing and probably the most forceful thing you can do is say, how are you? Literally, you text me, 2-3 days ago? How's Biff today? Yep.
And I like had to fight tears. And like I was okay that day. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't like I was in like this depression and like and I was having a just fine day. Like I felt fine, you know, and you text me that and I was just like, like, okay, I'm not alone. Like
no, you're never
like,
alone.
I forgot. Like,
you know, you can call me
like,
and I'll be there in an instant.
Oh yeah. And I do all the time, but it just, you know what I mean? And I've always been like one of, you know, the strong friend that like,
yes,
I'm the one checking in on my friends and I'm the one that's like, hey, you know what I mean? So like to get that back.
Be on the receiving end of it.
Yeah, it's like, good. Like I'm glad that I'm this friend that like I, you know what I mean, can give that to my friends and people around me. And so it's nice.
But
to,
also
like, receive that.
Across the board to our listeners, like don't judge your friends who don't check in on you.
I was going to say also don't beat yourself up if you're not.
Right.
Always checking in
because that's
friends.
Also another sign of anxiety. But you don't need to be who your friends are. This variety is what brings us together, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
This whole thing is so fucking
That's
fascinating.
funny you just said that because I literally, when you were saying like check in your friends.
Because we are the same
my
person.
brain was
Where
like,
have you been?
But also, if you don't check in on your friends, don't beat yourself up.
Right. I think I check in on you when I just have a feeling. And that's it. That's all I need. Yeah. If you just pop into my head randomly, that's when I'm like, something's up with Biff.
Yeah.
And that's when I text you.
Yeah.
And it might be nothing at all. But maybe like sometimes it's something.
90% of the time it's something.
Yeah. I had this conversation with somebody recently where I was just like, everything okay? And they're like, hey, everything's good. I'm like, just like be very careful on your flight home. Like,
right.
I don't know why. I just had a bad feeling. And it turned out it was nothing.
Thank God.
Thank God. You know what I mean? But like,
But it's also, you know, on the other end where like, you know what I mean? You said like you check in on me, like if you got this feeling or whatever. And like just a couple of weeks ago when you were going through what you're going through, I had like gone through like this day of like guilt where I'm like, oh my God, I should have like checked in more, or I should have somehow supported you or just been a stronger friend.
Was that
during this
legitimate
moment.
Guilt or your own anxiety? Which is a huge difference. Not that I would judge you for either, but.
Did you think I was a shitty friend?
Never.
Well, then it was my own fucking issues.
Wow, your issues suck.
I fucking
fix them.
That I had to do. And like, it was, even though I was having, oh, excuse me.
Oh, she's going to make it, guys. She'll make it.
Even though I was having these feelings of like guilt and like, I need to call Biff. I need to like send him flowers or like stop by with flowers or whatever. Like I was going through what I was going through and like I just couldn't force myself to do it and was still beating myself up for not doing it.
Never beat yourself up for, and it's
but
so
like,
much easier said than done.
But that's my, it's okay. So look, we're still friends.
I think I'm doing fine. You're doing fine. We're still best friends. We're sitting across the table.
Oh my God, you didn't show up randomly with flowers when I was going through this.
You know what? Actually, I'm pissed that last weekend you didn't fucking text me to tell me that you were waiting for me to text you.
And here I am not texting you because I think you're off with some boy. And I'm like, this motherfucker isn't texting me.
Listen, he was totally worth it, but no, not my Beth. Guys.
You can't give what you don't have, I guess, is what we're trying to say.
Which is fucking true. It's so fucking true.
If it's a true...
Energies are everything. What you feel is everything. And you know
what? If what you feel is not always everything. Because here I am thinking I'm a shitty friend and I'm like, oh my God, feeling so much guilt. And you're like, oh, it didn't
That's not what I mean. Like you're okay to... I know what you're saying. What I meant was, just to kind of clarify, was like, what you're feeling... You don't need to justify it with somebody else. Stop fucking feeling like someone else needs to validate how you feel. Because at the end of the day, like wrong. It's not even that. Let them be wrong. But you need to trust you. If you can't trust yourself in any instance, you can't make any reasonable assumption or a reasonable expectation that you're going to just get over it. That's the other thing.
Just
Stop
get over
fucking
it.
telling people to get over it. I don't care if it's a fucking hangnail.
Well, that was my point with my sister, where like I brought this up to her and she was like, oh, wow, like, you're right. And she literally stopped telling my nephew to just get over it.
Yep.
And like, now he's not exactly thriving yet, but he's also only 18 years old.
Right.
But like, it changed the whole thing for him and for my sister.
I just don't care if you feel
Sometimes
like someone's being...
just get over it.
But I just don't care if you feel like someone's being dramatic. They feel
you
like
don't
they
get to
need to
tell
talk about
someone.
it. They
You
feel
don't get
like
to
they
tell
need to
somebody
be
their
outward
feelings.
about it. You're not allowed to. Just...
You don't get to.
There's a lot of controversy in our world regarding how you feel about certain things, about certain political issues, about certain gender issues, about certain sexualities, about certain genders, about high fives, about, you know, literally everything. For the sake of fucking humanity, if you're going to have all those issues, let somebody feel how they feel.
For the love of fucking God.
Just fucking let somebody feel how they feel.
How is that going to affect you in any way?
And if you're the person that can't let them feel how they feel,
then shut the fuck up.
Get out of their life.
Exactly.
Get out of their fucking life.
Exactly, because you're going to make it worse.
Like, I recognize sometimes I know sometimes I'm like so in my head about something that I can be an emotional burden, and I'm like unloading on you, and I'm
You're
like this
never an emotional burden.
But you know what I mean? Like, and I think you felt this on your own behalf, on your own.
Yeah, when I moved in with you with no job.
Where you're just like,
oh my God.
I'm literally bitching about you about the stupidest fucking thing. Meanwhile, you're going through this whole big fucking thing. And you never once told me, like, it's really not a big deal. I don't know why you're making a big deal out of it. Or get the fuck over it.
Right.
No, you literally just let me talk. And sometimes that's all you need to do. No judgment.
Literally.
No whatever. Just let someone talk. Stop telling people to get over it. Let them fucking talk. A lot of the times, they'll talk themselves into a fucking conclusion.
How many times have we literally texted each other and said, like, I just need to talk out loud.
I'm all set.
Or like sent each other paragraphs and then was like, all right, never mind. False alarm. But like just having that like for us, like that safe space.
Yeah. Oh like, my God, you're 100% my safe space.
You're not trying to make me feel a different way, or this is what you should do about it, or like, oh, like, you know, well, really, you know, people are going through much worse than that. Like, it's just blah. I'm emotionally unloading, and you're just like, all right,
you're literally the person that knows the most about me. If it's something that I haven't told you, it's because I'm internalizing. I'm trying to figure it out. No one else fucking knows. You get pissed that I didn't tell you.
Because somebody else knows.
No, nobody else knows.
When you hooked up with someone that I don't know about, they know and I don't.
Well, they know, but they don't know the rest of it. They don't know context. Those are the old days.
They are the context. Plus, what do you mean?
I didn't want to tell their wives. Like, fuck. I went through a little identity issue thing, but it's fine. That was like
I didn't
2 years ago.
I only judged you for not telling me.
You totally judged me for not telling you. And only because like I felt like I needed to tell you. So instead of telling you, I was like, what happens if I hook up with a married man, essentially?
And I fucking...
You tore me a new one.
Yep,
yes, rightfully so. Guys, I'm sorry. We digress. Mental health issues are mental health issues. They are issues. They are health issues. They are...
Tell somebody to fucking... You never get to tell someone how to feel or what they should do or how they should handle things.
Right.
Ever. Never.
It's just not okay. And as a general rule, like, just be a fellow human. And if you can't provide that support, I guess humanely, is that the right word? I think maybe you shouldn't be in that person's life.
Yeah, because works for
I'm
you
thinking about all of the friends that we grew up with, and you're the one that's been able to constantly just be a lending. I don't care if you don't give advice on that time. Like, you're very good at advice. You always have been. But like, there are some instances where you can't give advice and you're just listening. Yeah. Sometimes I just need to vent. Yeah. And you're just like,
fucking A, that sucks.
Mm-hmm. And you recognize that, though. Like, I think you're more intuitive about it, just being like, I'm not going to give you my
Like a
thoughts
support
unless you ask for it.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
this
I think it's I mean, this is like the 8th time that I came back to like my sister and my nephew, but like I think that's such a huge deal. Is whereas like for my sister, what worked for her
I think it does,
is
because
like
it's a total reflection of what you
just
went through.
fucking get over it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So for that to be the advice that my sister received and that worked for her was super damaging for my nephew. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So like, even if you're somebody who does experience anxiety or depression and like that's what works for you, you just kind of get over it. You know what I mean? Like, it's still not your place to like tell someone else to like, no, just get over it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because
it should never cross.
Can definitely be more damaging than helpful.
Like let it cross your mind, but I guess it's up to your judgment and your own character whether or not you're going to vocalize it, right? Because
yeah,
we all think.
There's also a million ways to present
your own point.
Right.
Yeah. It's just so fascinating. I'm sorry. I was looking up on my phone, and I couldn't find it. Some article about Psychology Today and your application and your relationships to your own mental health struggle. And I thought I saved it and I didn't, which I'm kind of pissed off about. I really should have sent it to you because I send you stupid shit.
Yeah. Don't open this.
But guys, this has been... It's so weird because I want to say it was vulnerable, but it also felt natural because I'm talking to you physically in front of me. Like, it's been natural in that, but that we're going to post an episode that's over an hour and a half long doesn't even feel like it.
No.
Because these are natural conversations for us.
Oh,
literally. We literally think each other all the time.
Literally, like every other day.
And I really find it hard to believe, but also in retrospect, be like, oh, I guess not. Like that. Just like appreciate your friends. This is not necessarily like mental health related, but like I appreciate you every single fucking day.
Literally,
and I think that
literally every day.
Like, just check in on your friends, make sure they're okay. Maybe they're not your best friend in the whole world. Like, Biff, you're my fucking soulmate. I fucking know it.
Literally,
and I'm like,
your uncle knew it before we did.
I can't. I'm not even going there.
Please don't.
But that's great. But just check on your friends.
You never know what somebody's going through.
We all have our mental health struggles. Even if it's not a mental health issue, we all have psychological
You never
defaults.
know what somebody is dealing with.
I'm really hoping that
speaking of mental health issues, do not handle them like that.
On the outside of the window. I don't know if you guys heard that. We're sorry. I guess what I'm just trying to say is just like, be a friend. You don't have to be the best friend. Just be a friend. You know?
Yeah.
Everyone goes through their struggles. I know this episode was kind of a little bit everywhere. But I think we wanted to make it that way too.
I was super wanting to be like relatable.
Raw.
Or for like somebody to be like, oh my God, like maybe I have anxiety or maybe I have depression. Or like, oh wow, it's okay that my family doesn't understand how I'm feeling. Like,
it's totally okay.
Just super relatable. And like, you're at where you're at and that's okay. Period.
And that's
period.
You gotta make it rhyme.
You're at where you're at and that's okay.
Yep.
It's okay if you're just fighting to get out of bed or if the only thing you do is get out of bed and shower. That's fucking okay. Like, or if you have a fucking hip injury and can't sit down, that's okay. You know what I mean? Like, you're at where you're at, and that's okay. And other people are at where they're at, and that's also okay.
It's true. It's true. It's not up to you to validate someone's struggle. It's up to you to be there for them if you're their true friend or family or etc. You know what I mean? Like,
you don't have to be aware of them or what they're going through for you to be like understanding and accepting and like supporting.
It's true. It's so true.
It's a fucking huge deal.
Yes. So expect the next few episodes to be this heavy. We just want to bring
probably not this all over the place.
Right. Yeah, probably not.
Or probably because that's who we are.
Because that's who we are. As long as we follow it, you guys better be on board.
We don't get to tell people how to feel.
That's right. That's right. But this is...
You're not alone.
You're not. This is a very, very important topic to the both of us. You're studying it. Me, I've lived it my entire life. And it's just... It's something very near and dear to the both of us, whether it's us personally, the people that we care about, etc. We're just very in tune to it. I'm happy to talk through it. We're happy to give guidance on it. We're not professionals, but we try to relate on a personal level.
Yeah. And if we can't relate, then we just accept what it is. Or what you're feeling or
just talk.
Yeah.
And
it's super important. Don't shut yourself out and lock yourself in your bedroom and believe yourself.
So
don't believe your thoughts.
Don't believe your thoughts. When they're negative, please don't believe them.
Don't believe your thoughts. It's
if they're positive, like totally fall for them.
It's scary and dangerous. Like I beat myself up for probably 2 or 3 days for not being a better friend while you were going through
what you were going ridiculous to me because
you never one time were like, oh my God, you should have been a better friend.
Because if I needed to talk, I would come to you and talk to you. Yeah. And that's, which is so, and I beat myself up over, and this might be a little TMI for everyone, but when you and I were having kind of that struggle when you found out you were pregnant, and that's a whole other story.
Oh, you can't give what you don't have.
That's just a whole other story. But I mean, I beat myself up about, I think I just combined 2 words together.
That's fine.
But yeah, I get on my own case about not being there for you at the beginning like you needed me to be. And I think that all we can do is learn and progress from what we feel and also like the other person's understanding.
I was going to say, but I also want you or our listeners to also know that like I was aware of like,
right,
this isn't intentional. This isn't, you're at where you're at.
Right.
Everyone's at where they're at.
And that's literally it. That's it. You don't need to dissect it. You don't need to call a therapist. You don't need the most sophisticated scientific equipment to figure it out. It's literally like, let people be where they're at and just be there for them.
Yeah.
Compassion it just goes such a long way.
It goes so long.
That literally is the difference between somebody who's there tomorrow and somebody who
is there forever.
Somebody who killed themselves.
Well, it's not. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's literally the difference.
Literally.
It's just an ear. Just fucking talk.
Yep.
Just fucking talk. If you don't really care about humans, then don't fucking bother.
Don't invest or have them invest.
It just doesn't make sense. But
also, if you can't get out of your own feelings and like you think that just like everyone should see or feel how you feel, like fuck off.
Yeah, there are a lot of different ways.
I didn't take it to heart when you were going through what you were going through, and like it
didn't hit me either until you were like, I need you. And I was like, oh my God, my best friend needs me. And I'm like in my own fucking world. Like,
which was okay.
But I never thought of that. And it was
of course not, because you were dealing with what you were dealing with.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, how could you have been aware of like...
Also, just a blanket statement, again, across the board. You can deal with more than one fucking thing. You can deal with as much as you need to fucking deal with it. And sometimes you can't. That's true too.
Sometimes you can't.
But you can be experiencing simultaneous reactions.
Yeah, but it's okay that like you had no fucking clue until I was like, I need my fucking best friend.
I know. Like, I remember this conversation where you were standing to this day, and I was like, oh my God, I'm not there for her.
And I didn't. It was like no hard feelings. It was just like, hey, teacher.
Hi, here I am.
Teacher.
I live here. Hi. Hello.
Like, my mom and my sister are in South Carolina. The guy I'm pregnant with is a
POS.
And like my dad's
my words.
My dad, and like it's just me. Like, you know what I mean? It was totally, and it was like I didn't have hard feelings about like where you're at, and you weren't like, okay, yeah, but I'm also going through this. You know what I mean? It was like a same with like the trash. You were like feeling frustrated, not totally specifically like at me, but in general, you're feeling frustrated. And I was like, oh,
right.
Of course you are. It's been 3 months and I haven't touched the trash one time. And then you were like, oh, of course you haven't touched the trash one time.
Because this is how you were brought up.
You were raised.
And,
and here we are, still best friends. Where
guys, just fucking talk to your friends. Just fucking communicate.
Fucking communicate.
Like, I really don't think it's that hard. And we weren't taught to fucking communicate. So, like,
that's probably why we communicate.
That's probably
it's like the
assholes.
Two brothers with the alcoholic dad. One turns into an alcoholic. One's like anti.
Or the two sisters.
Yeah, or the sister
or the fraternal twins.
Or the what's the opposite of the fraternal twins? Identical.
Guys, I'm sorry to cut this off, but we're like, we're almost 2 hours in, so.
They don't listen anyway.
Actually, that's not true. I'm actually surprised at the numbers that we get. And we're honestly, guys, we're not in this for the listeners. We're in this for our own mental health, and we're fucking loving every second of it.
This really, I think for both of us, when we started this, was like a big...
And that BiFF time, that's the big deal. That's a big deal to me. I'm like, no, Sunday, I got BiFF time. Sorry. And I love it because we had a hard time making time for each other for a little while.
Well, I mean...
And it wasn't intentional, obviously. We wanted to be together, but shit happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's life.
Also, I don't care when my favorite podcast person has 2.5 hour long
That's true too. Guys, we're your favorite podcast people. If you're still listening 141 minutes in, and I'm 1 hour and 41 minutes in.
141 minutes. How long is that?
Over 2 hours now. But if you say you didn't have therapy this week.
No, I'm on Try Week.
Right, you mentioned that on Wednesday, which is coming out last episode, which is only 5 days away from today. So I guess I already talked about mine, which was on that Wednesday.
All right.
I guess.
Oh, yeah. We're still having another podcast about this because there's so much more. And I think it's going to be more pointed. I think it's going to be more. We left off the last podcast about me feeling spunky and not wanting to fucking deal with my mental health.
Yep.
But that was supposed
That's
to be
a really good one.
Podcast.
So this is going to be, this is our part of our series is we're going to spend the whole month of May discussing our mental health issues and hoping that somebody relates to them because we're okay with where we are.
Yeah.
We're not necessarily okay with the progress of it. We're not necessarily like okay with.
We're learning to be that.
Right.
We're
at, and that's okay. So, guys, send us your questions. We probably won't get to them anyway because you don't send them at you'vebenilladvisedthepodcast@gmail.com.
We will still get to them because we don't get them.
That's my point.
When you send us one, we'll get to it.
But follow us on Facebook and Instagram at illadvisedthepodcast because about damn time they matched.
Yes.
And thank you so much for listening.
You've been ill-advised.